there, this is Lynn with Vicki Lee Bags, and today I thought I would show you how to make these really cute tissue holders, and you can make them with your team's fabric or just about anything. They're nice and thick because we heavily interface them, and they have the nice little corners, but aren't they fun? I think they're really, really fun. And anytime I make a bag or a purse, I always make sure I have a little bit of extra so that I can make this little matching tissue holder. They only take about 10 or 15 minutes to make. So I'm going to gather my things and we'll get started with this, okay? Okay, so to do this project, what we're going to need is 2 different fabrics, and what I want to show you is this part right here is going to be called the focal fabric. This is what is on the outside. That piece is actually going to be the smaller of cutout size, okay? So this is going to be my focal side. This is going to be where the black would be on this one. And this measures 6 3/4 by 6 inches. 6 3/4 by 6 inches. The lining of it is going to be 7 3/4 by 6 inches. So it's 7 3/4 by 6 inches. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take the larger piece, here's your 6-inch side, and your smaller piece, which is your focal fabric, and we're going to place its 6-inch size exactly like this. I want to show you too that I always save my scraps of my interfacing so that I can do small projects like this. So that's why it kind of looks choppy. But what we're going to do is we're going to take this to the machine and sew 1/4 of an inch along this side, okay? I'm going to put a pin there to show you. We're going to pretend like I already sewed that, because then while you're there, I want to turn this around and I want you to take this piece, bring it all the way up to the edge of this piece. Again, it's the 6-inch side, and this is going to bow up, but that's okay. That's exactly what we want. And we're going to sew 1/4 inch along this side. Okay? So this is what it's going to look like when we're done. Kind of funky, huh? Okay, so I'm going to take this over to my machine, sew both sides, and I'll meet you back here. Okay, so I did sew both of the 6-inch sides together. Remember, they were right sides together facing each other. So now what I'm going to do is just turn it inside out. And you know, I wanted to tell you, it doesn't matter really what kind of interfacing you use. I had some medium weight, so that's what I used today, but lightweight would work well, and heavyweight would work, you know, fine as well. Okay, so we turned this right side out now, and what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you have this lining piece showing exact on the same side. You want to see the same amount on this side as you do that side. I don't really get into measuring or anything like that. I just kind of eyeball it and make sure that they look good. They look, you know, nice and even. And then I take my nice hot iron and I want it to stay there, so I'm going to give it a good press, a little steam. And just really make sure that that stays open the way I want. Okay. So this, just a tiny bit more on that side. Now remember, this is my focal side. This is what I'm going to see. So what I want to do now is turn that over. Nope, I'm sorry. Nope, I'm sorry. No, no, no. And what we want to do is, this is your focal side, so we're going to have that up like this. And we're going to fold it in half and make a little crease just so that you can find the center, okay? And now what I do is I take each one of these sides and I just make it meet in the middle, okay? Then I take a pin, okay, turn it around, make sure this one meets the exact middle. You don't want them overlapping, but you don't want to leave a space there either. You really want to butt them up really, really good. Okay, so there you have it. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take it over to your sewing machine and you're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam here and a 1/4 inch seam here. But what you're going to do is when you get to the opening part, I want you to go back and forth a couple of times, because this is where the tissue is going to come out and you're going to be in there and you're going to be pulling them out and you're going to put some wear and tear on the edges. So make sure you just go over this part a couple of times. Just maybe 2 or 3 times is fine, okay? Okay, so as you can see, I did sew up my edges. I also zigzag the edges to keep this part here from fraying on both sides. And I did double stitch over our stress point here. Now, it is fine to just turn this inside out and use it the way it is, but we talked a little bit earlier about these square corners. I like them. I think it looks a little bit more professional. It fits the little tissue on the inside better, but you can be done if you wanted to at this point. So let's go on and do the gussets for you, and I'll show you how I do that. I take a small pair of scissors and I eyeball this part, okay? And what I'm going to do is not from the edge, but from the seam here on the inside, I cut a little square about 1/4 inch, just like that. Remember, I don't use the outside edge. I start here. And I don't get real scientific about it, but, you know, I'm careful. And I just cut a little 1/4 inch square out, and it looks just like this. I come up and turn in, just like that. Okay, so it's just a little 1/4 inch notch, and I do that all the way around. Again, it doesn't have to be exact, but I've also done probably 100 of these, so I'm used to it. If you wanted to measure, that's perfectly fine. Probably look better than mine, but I can pretty much eyeball 1/4 inch. Okay, so all 4 corners are done. And what I do now is I slip my finger in here and I just poke my finger through like that, and I close it up going this way. Do you see what I did? Okay, this was flat. Put my finger in there and I close it this way to where that seam now fits, okay? Now I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine and do all 4 of them that exact same way. There's no science, I mean, there's no way for me to show you other than just doing it the way I showed you, okay? So one more time. Here it is. It's nice and flat. I'm going to put my finger in there and I'm just going to squeeze it from this side. Make sure it's nice and straight. And I'm going to sew it real close to the top. I'm not coming in 1/4 inch. That's too much and you don't need to. Just make sure you catch it on both sides and just sew a little, couple of times back and forth. And if you want to, you can even zigzag that. And then we're done. Okay, so I'm going to come back here after I do all 4 of these. Okay, so this is what it looks like when I'm done. I did my little my little corners. I trimmed off all my threads, so now you just turn it inside out, or right side out. I think these are so much fun to make, very addicting. Fun gifts for teachers, stocking stuffers, whatever you need to use it for. And now you're going to take your little tissues. They fit in there so nice, especially now that you've made your corners nice and square. And there you have it. Another little Vicki Lee bag exclusive. So I hope you enjoyed this project, and come back. We're going to be doing some more zipper things in a little bit, and thank you for joining me. This is Lynn with Vicki Lee Bags. Make it a great day.